All right, perfect.
Sorry.
There we go. Have fun.
Okay, can you hear me?
No.
No. Yes? Oh. Well, there's an intro because, I was thinking I could just drop my pants, show you my scar, and start the story like that. But, you got this thing about no props. And then there's that old writer's wisdom for, authors of autobiographical tales that you don't want to call attention to your shortcomings. So, and besides, there's really no scar. This is a story about how there's no scar and why. It was the summer between my sophomore and junior years in college, and I got a job working the graveyard shift at a rubber plant, 8 p.m. to 4 p.m. And with the exception of the foreman and a very charismatic character who ran the forklift called Screwy Scribani, I was the only non-prison laborer in the factory. The rest of the guys came from the Greenhaven Federal Penitentiary, which was just down the road. And it was a maximum security prison, not a country club for white-collar criminals or teenagers who've been caught selling nickel and dime bags of marijuana. This was a place that I think Arlo Guthrie described best in Alice's Restaurant. It's where they sent the mother stabbers and the father rapers. And it was a tough, dirty, grimy job, and the conditions in the factory didn't make my coworkers any more hospitable. We worked in a section of the factory called the oven. It's where the raw rubber came in to be dumped in a hopper, heated in a furnace, pushed out through a extrusion machine onto a conveyor belt, and there were 20 of us, 10 on each side of the belt, 19 criminals and myself, college boy, who stood there with wooden-handled linoleum knives, sharpened on both sides, and cut the rubber as it came out of the extrusion machine at whatever level was we were told to that night, depending on what was being made. And it was hot in there because if they tried to air condition the place, the rubber would shrink as it came out of the machine. So it was like 120 degrees. And if you can, and we've got long pants and shirts and helmets on because the furnace made the rubber spill out at the top of the hopper and splash all over us on occasion. So you get the picture, 120 degrees, sweatsuits, criminals, sharp knives, what could go wrong? Well, it didn't take me long to find out what could go wrong. About 2 hours into my first shift, one of the guys was leaving the line, to go to the bathroom. And as he passes the end of the line, one of my coworkers reaches out with his linoleum knife and slashes him right across the ass. And, okay, shit's gonna hit the fan now. I've got my knife, but I'm not looking to use it. I'm looking for the exit. But to my surprise, everybody just started laughing. And it was like, okay. And the victim kind of hops out of the way, makes his way down to the bathroom, does his business, comes back. And as he's coming back up the line, they do it again. Now it's 2 guys slashing at him. And he nimbly skips out of the way, takes his place on line. And everybody's laughing and talking. And I have no idea what the hell's going on. And but I find out at lunchtime, which was like midnight. So around the parking lot where it's a little cooler, and I go up to the guys. I'm not going to eat lunch by myself like some nerdy middle school kid in the cafeteria. I'll go up to the table with the big boys, and I ask them, what's going on? You guys can't cut each other up here. I know you're going to do extra time or something. What gives? And there was a lot of, jabber and talk back, but the gist of it was they had this game. And the game was you try to cut cloth without cutting skin. And maybe sometimes you got a little skin, but no blood. And maybe sometimes a little blood, but not a lot of it. Because the bus comes at 4 in the morning to take them back, and somebody's bleeding profusely from the ass, there'll be consequences. But other than that, it was a game of skill. Can I cut trousers without, going further? And I guess it was the look on my face, because you probably know what happens next. From out of the crowd comes the voice, "Hey, college boy, you want to play?" And it's like, there's no good answer to that question. If I say yes, I'm going to get cut up. If I say no, it's not going to be a pleasant summer, because this is a rough crowd, and they'll figure out some other way to bust my chops. So what I finally said was this: "Sure, I'll play your game, as long as you understand the consequences." It's like, "College boy, what consequences?" And I'm toning it down. It was much more colloquial than that. But I said, "Look, clearly you guys are skilled. You can cut cloth without skin. You've had a lot of practice. I haven't, and I'm kind of clumsy. And if I slash one of you guys, I'm going to take off the family jewels. Accidentally, sure, but high probability. But if you're up for that, fine with me." And I said, "But look, you need time to think, so I won't slash anybody who doesn't slash me first. But if you do, it's on you." We go back to the line after lunch. About 2 hours into it, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I walk down the line, and I'm waiting. I take the knife with me just in case. And nothing happens. And it didn't happen the next day, and the next day. And at the end of the summer, I left that place with a pile of money and a bunch of stories. And my favorite of which was the night Screwy Scrivani ate a pigeon. And if the theme ever allows for it, I'd love to tell you that one too.